Hey, this is the Well Advice Channel too. What I want to talk about today is the topic of what would happen if we actually had a societal collapse. So, when it comes to what I mean by societal collapse, what I'm referring to is what would happen just after the aftermath of a disaster situation, a worldwide disaster situation, whether it could be a nuclear war or obviously, maybe something like, I don't know, for example, easily like a natural disaster like Yellowstone were to blow up, yada 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 yada, all that type of shit. What would happen in the right direct aftermath of that is what I'll be discussing for this video. Okay. So when it comes to answer that question, first and foremost, to answer your question, as I'm sure everyone would know, it would be absolute chaos. Okay. That is the truth of the matter. Okay. No matter how much you think it would be bad based on what you see for the movies and stuff, it would be even worse, okay? Which in this case, let's just say we're going to use America as an example, okay? The United States as an example, okay? Even though this is happening all over the world for this scenario, we're just using America as an example because obviously it would be one of the easiest examples to use for many different reasons and just obviously what most people are familiar with as a nation. So let's use America as an example, okay? If there were to be a societal collapse, like if America, obviously, in this scenario, we're experiencing a societal collapse, the first thing that I was getting at before, is that not only would there be a societal collapse, it would make all the movies you have ever seen, whether December 21st, 2012, any of the disaster movies that have come afterwards, any disaster movie in general, look like a freaking joke, okay? It would just be way, 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 way worse. For that matter, okay? To be quite honest, okay? Because we're looking at a reality, and obviously, not only are we looking at a reality where obviously we have over 300 million people, not just a few million, CGI produced people at the most, used for like a movie or something, for that matter. So obviously there's more people, so it'd be even more crazier. It's also just due to the fact that as well, we live in a world where people are a lot more unpredictable than people are in movies. And not just more unpredictable than people are in movies. We also have to just realize that we also live in a society where, especially if you live here in North America, Canada, and the United States, you know what I'm saying? We have some of the dumbest people you can imagine in your life. If you live here in North America, especially America, let's not front though. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being American, and I'm proud of being American, but let's keep it real. There's some dumbass people in America, okay? That is the truth of the matter. There's some really, really, really dumb people there, okay? So as a result of that, if there was a sudden collapse, everything would go to chaos, okay? People would be turning on each other. People who are, good friends would become enemies. There would be mass amounts of people leaving areas. The highways, absolutely perfect example. What I mean would be way worse than movies. There would be literally millions of people using up main highways in the United States of America. It would literally last dozens of miles, if not hundreds of miles, with millions of people fleeing a situation. Let's just say maybe a nuclear bomb happened in, like, for example, New York State, and everyone is saying, okay, we're gonna have to leave the Northwest United States or something like that, or maybe I don't know, whatever. You get the point, like something like that, or even Yellowstone blows up, so people are leaving maybe the Southwestern United States. It would be ridiculous. It would be massive. There would be highways hundreds of miles long, that would just be filled to the brim with people leaving. For that matter, okay, everyone's gonna be panicking. People who have had issues with each other for years are gonna start bringing up their conflicts more. There's not going to be much police who can really do anything in a situation like that. So there's going to be criminals everywhere just doing whatever they want to do. Even preppers, like, who might say, well, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, we're going to form tight communities. How much can we even really do that? Whether it's dealing with police officers who are realize, yeah, we're fucked, man. So now we are doing whatever we can do to survive, and they start attacking those citizens, for that matter, okay? Let alone the fact that there might be rivalries between different neighborhoods fighting against each other and so on and so forth, okay? That's what I'm trying to say, and even martial law, which everyone says, oh, there'd be martial law. Well, if shit would have really get bad, martial law is not really going to do anything. Like, how are you going to really control that many people? So that's the truth of the matter, though. It would get really, really, really ugly. Okay, for that matter, okay? And that's the first point I want to get across when it comes to this particular scenario, okay? It would be madness like you've never seen before, okay? That's the first thing I want to get across. The second thing I want to get across, aside from the absolute chaos that would happen, is what would happen to the future of society. Because some people always make the argument, I feel the nerds or the intelligent people would become, the new leaders of the society, of course, in this new world, of course, especially when all the people die, like America's population, let's say, goes from like 300 million to like 50 million or something after everyone dies, when the apocalypse has officially taken place, for that matter, okay? So things like that, obviously, is what I'm thinking. I think everyone thinks, for that matter. But the thing is, when it comes to what would happen if that would actually happen, whether it's dumb or maybe the bully type people, pretty much the cool kids, popular kids, because they're able to form social connections, people better would take over, or whatever, whatever one of those two scenarios you say. I actually believe in a situation like that, not only the intelligent people, I actually believe people who, in general, like, did the worst in life in during times of peace like we are living in now, like in terms of stability more like actually, would do the best in a scenario like that. Because first and foremost, their whole life has been pretty much a struggle. So dealing with shows like this would be nothing really new to them, in honesty. And obviously as well, to add to that, pretty much all the people who would have kind of caused problems to them, like the bullies or even certain types of people who just cause problems, like the people who just talk shit and just start a lot of shit and a lot of drama, like those type of people who are just annoying that I think we can all agree we hate, for that matter, in society. Those people would probably be dead, or at least keep quiet, because they realize that since, this is a crisis situation, law and order is broken down, there's no real police anymore. If somebody were to say so and so and so to you, for like, okay, if they were to do the things that they're doing more like to other people, they'd realize, okay, if I do this to this person, he's probably going to punch me in the face, and there's not going to be anyone to show up and say, you're going to get arrested for that. Because the world is obviously in a situation like that is going to be completely different. So people who normally would, for that matter, of course, no surprise, thrive in our society because they can get away with it. Because if you hit them back when they hit you first, you get in trouble for defending yourself. Since law and order is broken down, that doesn't go on anymore. Okay, so those people who actually caused those problems in the past and were like the people who were just like, fuck, I hate these people, and would make your life a living hell, are going to be quiet because they're going to realize a lot of people that they normally would have picked on are going to fight back. So it give people who normally would have been actually ostracized by society, picked on, so-called losers, yada, 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 the whole 9 yards. You can imagine every cliche you can imagine and beyond would actually thrive in a world like that, okay? At least compared to everyone else, because people would rely on intelligence, if anything, to build social connections, instead of just simply who talks the most, or who spends the most time talking most. Because who gives a fuck about how good your social skills are, or how good you are at coming up with interesting things to talk about when everyone's freaking hungry? That's what I'm trying to say. And not just hungry, they're worrying about people trying to kill them. You know, so I feel like they would thrive in a world more if anything, and that is what I think would be the second part of what I have to say. So anyway, this is my video. For anyone who is interested in a scenario like this, I hope I answered your question, and this is all I have to say. And just remember, if you like this video and videos like this, remember to thumb this video up and hit the subscribe button. And this is all I have to say. And simply put, I'm out. Bye.